morning and welcome to CSLN Live. We are so very glad that you can be here with us today for our winter weather watch party. If you guys are new, we welcome you. Welcome to the community. We hope that you enjoy what you see today. And for our existing online viewers and CSLN community, we are so glad that you're here with us. We know that we'd all love to be together today at the center, celebrating and listening to Dr. Mitch. But obviously the weather is not safe for that at this time. So hopefully you guys are at home with a warm cup of something special, sitting on your couch with your loved ones and getting ready for an amazing archive service. If you guys have not used the chat feature before, this is the perfect time to get engaged. You should hopefully already be following us and subscribed to YouTube as well as our social media channels. We are at CSLN Nash on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And once you guys get into the service, you'll see the chat box popping up. And just say hi, let us know where you're from, who you are, if you have any questions, and of course, if you've got comments, ideas, and inspirations from today's discussion. So let's kick back. Let's grab our something special or our someone special, get warm, get toasty, and prepare for an amazing archive message by Dr. Mitch. Thank you so much. See you soon in person.
Welcome to the Sunday service at CSLN. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and the entire planetary family. The Center for Spiritual Living Nashville offers spiritual tools for anyone seeking a more fulfilled and meaningful life through a deeper connection with a higher power or universal truths. Be sure to subscribe below if you enjoy our programs. Now let's join today's service.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, I'm Marietta Carter. I'm a practitioner and board member, and I'm your host today. So it's my extreme pleasure to welcome you to our Sunday morning service here at the Centers for Spiritual Living Nashville. I would also like to welcome those who are watching online, and I invite those who are watching online to come on out and meet us here in person, live in Nashville. Today we are excited to have Dr. Reverend Mitch Johnson as our speaker. For those of you who don't know him, he happens to be the founding member of our center. The title of his talk today is This Stuff Works. So in case you don't know what we're all about, or if you're new to our center, I'd like to explain that we are an open and inclusive spiritual community for those seeking a deeper connection with God, a deeper connection with self, or a deeper connection with love. Our teaching is a combination of ancient wisdom and new thought, and we bring religion and science together using spiritual tools to transform lives. So through affirmative prayer, meditation, and an understanding that by changing our thoughts, we can actually change our lives. So we are inspired to live our dreams, and we teach how to make a world a place that works for everyone. So, welcome to our center. I invite you to settle into your seat. I invite you to take a deep breath. Close your eyes, turn within, and know with me. There's one life. That life is God. That life is perfect, and that life is my life now. I know that this truth is for me, and I know that this is the truth for all who are here today and for all who are watching from afar. I know that in this beloved CSLN community that we are beacons of light and beacons of love. So let's open up our hearts and open up our minds and feel Spirit move and have its being in each one of us. I'm so grateful for all the hands that are in service here today, and I know your service is an act of love. I know that Dr. Mitch Johnson will assist us in connecting us with Spirit and connecting us with love. I'm so grateful that he's here today. So I invite all to join me as we soar and we feel lifted and inspired by Spirit, and as we open our hearts and open our minds. I know that in our service here today, we will experience the divine truth of who we are, because this stuff works. I am grateful to know that this is true, and for these things and so much more, I give great thanks. And so it is.
I will stand by you, even when we fall. I will be the rock that holds you up and lifts you high so you can stand tall. I won't let you go. No one can take your place. Oh, a couple fights and lonely nights don't make it right to let it go to waste. And I won't let you fall. I won't let you go. No matter where you are, no matter where you are, I'll be there. No matter where you are, no matter where you are, I'll be there. I will hold on to everything we got. A quitter, regretter, and forgetter is everything I'm not. I'll take care of you, love you just because. You and I are better than forever. Nothing can stop us, and I won't let you fall. I won't let you go. No matter where you are, no matter where you are, I'll be there. No matter where you are, no matter where you are, I'll be there. We can be the generation who learns how to love. Mistakes and empty promises will never be enough to tear apart those giant hearts that beat inside us now. Let's conquer the percentages and rise above the crowd. I won't let you fall. I won't let you go. No matter where you are, no matter where you are, I'll be there. No matter where you are, no matter where you are, I'll be there. No matter where you are, no matter where you are, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there.
So, our reading today is from the Mental Equivalent Lectures by Emmett Fox. Now, it is one of the source materials that Dr. Mitch will be using in his class, which starts this Thursday, and it's called The Spiritual Law of Mental Equivalence, and there's still time to sign up. So after the service, rush home, get on the computer, and sign up and join us for this incredible class for 6 weeks, okay? Anyway, so let's begin. For anything that you want in your life, a healthy body, a satisfactory vocation, friends, opportunities, and above all, the understanding of God, you must furnish a mental equivalent. Supply yourself with a mental equivalent. See and feel the thing as it is so in your mind, and the thing must come to you. Without a mental equivalent, it cannot come. Everything that you see or feel on the material plane, whether it's your body, whether it's your home, your business, your city, is but an expression of the concrete of a mental equivalent held by you. Everything in your city is the embodiment of mental equivalents held by their citizens. Everything in your country is the embodiment of mental equivalents held by the people of the country. And the state of the world embodies the mental equivalent of the millions of people who make up the world. Wow. Now, what about war? That is the physical expression of a mental equivalent held by the human race. The human race is believed in the old bogey of fear. It's believed that you can enrich yourself by taking something belonging to someone else. It is believed in death. It is believed in lack. It is believed that aggression pays, and that helping yourself to other people's things is a good policy. And we've all believed this in some degree. But the natural result of this has been to precipitate in the outer a picture of war, death, suffering, lack, and so forth. Now, the world is beginning to get the mental equivalent of peace. And that is why peace will come. A new world will come. There will be peace. There will be harmony and understanding between all persons and all nations. But always, 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 the thing you see in the outer is the manifestation on the physical plane of a mental equivalent held by one or more people. And so it is. So, let's take a deep breath, hold it a moment, and release. Let's do that again. Take a deep breath, hold, and release. And let's just have a moment of silence. And I'm going to say this prayer treatment in the first person, but please make it personal to you. I know with my whole heart that there is only one Spirit, one life, one love, and I am one with Spirit. I am one with life. I am one with love. I know this fully, completely. I know that a perfect healing power is flowing in and through me and our community right now, healing every decision, healing every thought, healing every action. And I send loving, healing energy out to anyone in our community dealing with health or other issues, and I affirm the highest and best outcome for them. And as a community right now, we hold them in our love, and in silence we lift up those in special need right now. The infinite mind and the Spirit of God is all-powerful and expresses as divine wisdom and guidance. And I am conscious of this divine guidance as I know prosperity and financial abundance for our center. As I know the perfect buyer for this property has already appeared, and as I know our perfect new minister is even now drawn to us in love. And I give thanks I give thanks for every expression of love present in our audience today and watching this service from home. I give thanks for this community, our Science of Mind teaching, for everyone making this service possible today, Larry and the band, Raven and Joelle, the AV team, the greeters, the practitioners, the youth team, the board of trustees, and especially for Dr. Mitch, our speaker today. And I give thanks for love. And accepting love as my life experience, I release my word into the universal law of mind, which always says yes, knowing it has already made it so. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? So let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. Even when the dark comes crashing through and you need someone to carry you when you're broken on the ground. Let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. Even when the dark comes crashing through, you will be found.
That's Joelle Platt and Raven, everybody.
Good morning. Can I put this down? There I am, the voice of God. Well, once again, good morning, and I am found, and thank you, ladies, for singing so well, and for being the power of singing and light that you are. So, our lesson this morning is, this stuff works. And I'll put it this way, this stuff works when you remember your future. And you're going, what is he talking about? Has he lost his mind again? Yeah. I want to lose the mind I had for the mind that I can have. Amen? Amen. So, when you remember your future, now, I really didn't mean to make the talk about this, but it's a catchphrase for each of us to remember your future. And that is to say, how do you build a memory? Well, you remember when you were at the beach with your friends one time and what a joy it was to be there and what it felt like to be there. And you remember the scene, the sun and the sand in your toes, and you had a picture of that. And you had your feeling about that. And you remember what you were drinking and how you were acting, no matter how you were acting. But you remember it, and that created a memory. You have to do exactly the same thing for what you want to experience in your life, but you have to do it now because your unconscious, and I'll talk more about that later, your unconscious can't tell the difference between something that has happened and something that can happen. Right? So, this week we are here to know this stuff works. Now, some might say, well, what stuff? Well, it's the stuff we teach, like the stuff I just told you, which I can tell you from practice experience is far easier to teach than it is to put into constant practice. I don't say this to discourage anyone or even myself, for I think the most important thing for all of us in our spiritual journey through life is to put into practice the tenets of our spiritual beliefs. We are not here to live a fearful, tentative life. We are really here to make a difference in this life, a difference to others and a difference to ourselves. We are talking about the power of our intentions. That is, consciousness is creative. The thoughts, emotions, feelings, beliefs we have enter into a field of energy called life, or the universe, or God, if you will, or the quantum field of infinite potential. And those thoughts get reproduced. Now, if you think about what I've just said, it's a very powerful statement because it's true. It means all of us individually are creating our lives through a cause and effect system of spiritual law. And all of us together are creating our world in a cause and effect system of spiritual law. So the big question we all have to answer and answer truthfully, honestly, and answer by practicing the answer we theoretically want, is this: what kind of world do we want to live in? Then if we know that answer, that is, if we know what we want, then we have to become that. That is what we have to intend. That is what we have to practice, to create a memory in our bodies of that which has not yet happened. Yet, in the timeless mind of God, it's already happened. Lynn McTaggart has a book called The Intention Experiment. And she writes this: every organism, from bacteria to human beings, appears to be in perpetual quantum communication, and this relentless conversation offers a ready mechanism by which thoughts have a physical effect. The point is this: because of what we call this oneness of life, or God, or the quantum field, all of us, plants, animals, minds, who knows, the earth and the universe itself is relentlessly in perceptual quantum communication with each other. Our thoughts are creative. They go somewhere and they affect something. They have a physical effect on all of our life, on ourselves, and on each other. So also in Lynn's book, she refers to one of the many experiments which scientifically validate the idea that our thoughts have an effect. There have been many studies and experiments with so-called direct mental interaction with living systems. They call it DMILS. You don't have to remember that. Which simply put is the ability of human thought to influence the living world around it. So Lynn writes of a mental experiment conducted way back in 2005 with a group of researchers from Bastyr University and the University of Washington. Now, I won't detail this whole experiment, but just give you the results as reported by Lynn McTaggart. She talks about those who scored a significant result were wired up to a functional MRI, which measures minuscule changes in the brain during critical functions, and they were asked to do this experiment. Now, the experiment was that one group sent out a thought to another group. That is to say, they had the thought was transmitted, the recipients, they sent out a thought that there was light, just light, understand? So in the recipients, the MRIs, they showed that the visual cortex of their brain lit up. The recipients, the visual cortex of their brain lit up and matched what the senders were sending. So the Bastyr study, she says, represented a major breakthrough in research on direct mental influence. It demonstrated that the brainwave response of the sender to the stimulus is mirrored in the receiver, and that the stimulus in the receiver occurs in an identical place in the brain as the sender. The receiver's brain, listen to this, reacts as though he or she is seeing the same image at the same time. So if you're doing an affirmative prayer, and you believe it, and you see it, and you know it, you are sending that image, that energy, that picture to that person. You are seeing them whole and complete and perfect, for example. They are receiving it. Whether they're receptive or not, I don't know. But they are receiving it. So if you want to study more of Lynn McTaggart's work, I suggest you get her books. Well, I suspect you can see the point here. We all have tremendous influence on each other. What we think about each other or ourselves is a tremendous creative power. It actually creates, it shifts, it moves energy, as some of these latest scientific studies show. Now, these studies don't call it spiritual energy as we would, but whatever you call it, it is the creative, basic mind stuff of the universe. You see something, a basic tenet of our philosophy and faith is that we can influence others and ourselves for good. We can influence the way life is going. We can create happy, healthy relationships. We can create prosperous living, health and vitality, creative self-expression. We can see people as whole, complete, and perfect and make a tremendous difference and be a tremendous influence in all of life, including ourselves. So to a lot of people, this word influence is kind of soft. But listen to what the dictionary says it is. An emanation of spiritual or moral force. The act or power of producing an effect. To me, this sounds an awful lot like a believing prayer. So, point of this stuff is that our founder, Dr. Holmes, wrote, "We preach that we may practice. We practice that we may prove. We prove that we may know." Should I repeat that? We preach that we may practice. We practice that we may prove. We prove that we may know. And notice the big word there is practice, because what you are really doing is remembering the future. Remembering the future. And the more you remember it, the more you create chemicals, electrical events, and actual neural tissue forms in accordance with what you believe is possible. That's how you have influence over your own body. Many times people will tell me they want to obtain this or that good experience, but somehow they just haven't been able to do it. It somehow eludes them, and they say things like, well, fate must be against me. The stars aren't aligned right. There's just too much competition. Besides, something or someone has to change before I can have what I want. Now, I hear things like that, and I know something about them, not judgmentally now, but objectively. I know they want, but they don't know. They want, but they don't know. They want, but they don't really believe they can have. They want, but perhaps they don't feel deserving. They want, but they don't love what they want enough to become the kind of person who is that. Wanting, 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 but not getting is a symptom of not knowing. If we know we are working with a tremendous spiritual force for good, if we know, then we influence. If we influence, then we have, we create, we heal. We heal others as well as ourselves. We practice that we may prove, and then we prove that we may know. Then I hear some of you saying out there, if this stuff works, why isn't it working for me? Well, let's look at a Bible verse. Amos 3:3 says this, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" Can two walk together except they be agreed? Now, this is really a powerful metaphysical verse. It has an obvious meaning. If two people are going to go to a movie, they have to agree to want to see that movie, and then they have to go to it, right? They have to go together. But it also has a deeper meaning. It's telling us that the two referred to is more than it seems. It's more than it seems. Let's say we have a new idea, maybe a dream that we've had for a while, a conscious idea you want to create and bring into form. We all know that feeling when you get something that you, oh boy, this sounds exciting. This sounds good. This feels good to me. This sure appeals to me. So you go out and try to make it happen. Well, maybe even initially you get excited and enthused, but somewhere along the way you get stymied and frustrated, and nothing seems to be working out. And you check with your heart, and yes, the dream still feels good, but something you want, but something keeps sabotaging you, and you hear yourself saying, there's always a rub, and why is this always happening to me? And you find yourself down, depressed, discouraged, and what is going on here? Well, I have observed it is a difference between what you consciously want and what you non-consciously believe is possible. Consciously want and what you non-consciously believe is possible. That is to say, the mental equivalent you have of it. Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to give you some statistics about your brain, the human brain. The brain mass, that is how much of your brain is devoted to your conscious mind, 17%. 83% of your brain mass is devoted to your non-conscious mind. Speed of impulse. Your conscious mind has 120 to 140 miles per hour speed of impulse. Your non-conscious mind, 100,000 miles per hour. Here's the interesting part. Bits per second. Your conscious mind is 2,000. That's pretty good, right? Bits per second. Your non-conscious mind, 400 billion bits per second. Wow. Conscious controls, let's put it this way. Your conscious control of perception, your perception, is 2 to 4%. Your non-conscious control of your perception is what you have mental equivalent of, 98%. Well, it's staggering to contemplate what even a fraction of what your non-conscious mind achieves every day in running your body and doing things for you, all of which happens without your awareness. Now, this intelligence, which is incredible, is still in you. It is still you. It has been created by you. Anybody here ever seen a toddler learning how to walk? Just raise your hand if you're alive. Okay, good. That's right. I was observing, years ago, I was observing my 1-year-old granddaughter at the time learning how to walk, and I saw what a truly complex process walking is. You know, she fell down, and she got up, and she staggered this way and that very shakily, and she had her arms up in the air, you know, like a chimp for balance. But slowly, over a period of time, she walked. You and I walk without thinking about it because we've tried, we failed, we fell down, and we didn't get discouraged, and we didn't feel defeated, but we practiced it. You see something? I want to tell you what faith is to me. Faith is loyalty to what you want, and loyalty to what you want means you practice it. You practice the picture, you practice the image, you practice the feeling, you practice the words day and night until it becomes so ingrained in you that it feels like who you are. And this you can do. So I think about it this way. My granddaughter she looked around at the adults around her walking, and maybe her own innate intelligence said, walk, you can do this. She had a mental equivalent of it. Do you see? She really wants to walk. And so she starts walking. And she falls down and all the other things, but that doesn't discourage her from walking. Here's the point. Our non-conscious workhorse of a mind connects us to the infinite mind of God, obeys her, because it doesn't believe she can't do it. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Two walk together by remembering the future. Notice we tie our shoes We type our computers, we drive our cars, we speak languages, and sometimes more than one, because we practiced. And now we know. And this knowing happens without our even having to think about it. We know how to walk and tie our shoes, etc., because we have developed a habit of thought. We remembered the future somewhere along the line, and the two walk together. When we think the same thing over and over and over, it eventually becomes a habit of thought or a thought pattern, a habit of thought, and through repetition becomes an attitude or a belief. If you want, you must practice. If you want, you must practice. I think you can see the dilemma for a lot of us. We want, but we don't know what we want sometimes. We want, but we don't know we can. We dream, but we don't believe in our dreams. We have a thought pattern that doesn't believe we can or deserve. And indeed, how can two walk together unless they be agreed? Yet for all of its power, the unconscious part of our minds, which is at one with universal mind, is suggestible. It's amenable to our conscious thoughts. Yeah, I know that habits can be 1,000 times stronger than our desires. So a process we have to engage in is to get our unconscious mind to agree with our conscious desires. Now that process we talk about here is affirmative prayer. It's knowing. It's practicing that knowing until it becomes ingrained in us. We remember the future. Do you understand? Am I being clear about that? Okay. There is always something more to life than what appears before us. This enormous, wonderful energy of God can change, alter, and improve anything. And since you are one with it, you can use it, and it can use you for greater good. It can use you for greater good. Now, in practical terms, if we find our unconscious, non-conscious mind is not in agreement with our conscious desires, we can do some things to make this stuff work, to build a mental equivalent of what we desire. So, first thing is, choose the thoughts you want to believe. Pretty simple. How many of us have read a good, positive book or attended a powerful service or feeling empowered and happy and enthusiastic, and then they called? Well, they is being anyone who can bring us down. Well, that's when we have to choose. The Bible says, choose ye this day whom you will serve, God or mammon. It didn't say go home and lie down and wallow in self-pity and discouragement for a couple of days. It says, no, choose what you want to believe and choose how you want it to be. Choose thoughts, books, people, classes, readings that lift you up and support you and thrill you. Choose to see life as it can be, not as it seems. Choose to pray like your prayer is already answered. One of my favorite stories is supposedly a true story of a minister that happened to a minister in Texas. And it seemed this preacher had seen a kitten that was up in a young tree, a young sapling of a tree at the top, and he couldn't reach it. And he thought, well, how can I do this? And he had his truck with him, and he tied a rope to the bumper of his truck, and then he tied it to the tree. And he thought, well, I'll just inch that truck along, and then the tree will bend over, and then I'll just pick the kitten off of it. Sounds like a good idea. So he does that, and the tree bent over, and then all of a sudden, the rope broke. And the kitten was flung way up into the air, over to the next block. So he gets in the truck and drives over there, and he can't find the kitten. He's, oh, I feel bad, I'm terrible. So the next day, he goes to the grocery store, and he recognizes this woman from his congregation who's coming out with a box of kitty litter. And he says, I thought you didn't like cats. She says, oh, you know I don't like cats, Pastor. I hate cats. But you know, my little girl has been bugging me for weeks about having a kitten and wanting a kitty. And finally, I got fed up with it yesterday, and I told her, you go outside and pray for it, and if one falls into your hands, you can have it. And you know, Pastor, it did. So pray like your prayer is already answered. And I must tell you that the first time I heard that in a Science of Mind church in California, I thought they were crazy. Pray like you have the answer? Well, how do we do that? Well, I'm going to offer you my class this Thursday. I'm going to show you many new techniques to build within yourself the mental equivalent of what you want. And I was talking to a person yesterday. She said, oh, Dr. Mitch, I'd love to come to your class, but I just don't have the time to do it. I have so many busy things going on in my life. And I said, well, that's great. And I've got so many things I'm worried about. I said, you need to come to the class. So we start wherever we are with as much or as little faith as we can muster, and we become willing to believe something greater than we are is responding to us, to our choosing thoughts. You know, one of my favorite verses in the Bible, and this has to do with your sense of who you really are and what you really can do. One of my favorite verses, I never heard this when I was a Baptist, incidentally, but it's one of the most powerful verses in the whole Bible. It said, let this mind be in you. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, who did not consider it robbery to be equal to God. Do you understand what he's saying? You can build in your mind the same mind that God has. So start choosing to think you are greater than you think you are, because you are. You can build the mental equivalent of anything you want to experience in this life. And you're not robbing anyone or anything to claim your rightful place in life. To insist with yourself that you are wonderful, worthy, worthwhile. Say this. Isn't it wonderful? Oh, put your arms up. Isn't it wonderful that I am worthy, worthwhile, and so very lovable? Do you feel that way? Oh, let's do it again. Isn't it wonderful that I am worthy, worthwhile, and so very lovable? Yes, you are, and don't ever forget it. And I want to tell you that years ago, a man was down on his luck. His hopes for a career were dashed. His love life was in tatters. His self-esteem was at rock bottom. His opinion of life and himself was at best depressing and angry. He wallowed in self-pity and offered up excuse after excuse and reason after reason why he was in the shape he was in. But most of all, he was afraid to live, and even afraid to die. I know that man was me. See, I know this stuff works. If we learn to work it, if we allow ourselves to start even a little bit to have faith in something greater than we are, to have faith in the Creator which put us here, gave us what we need to create in our lives like they can be, if we are willing to choose thoughts, pictures, feelings, and ideas that match the outcomes we desire. To choose to pray like that outcome is a done deal. You see something? I'm going to give you a new definition of faith. It's loyalty to your dream. You know what loyalty is? Semper Fi, Mac, for Marines out there. Loyalty to your dream. And how are you loyal? How do you demonstrate that loyalty? How do you show loyalty? You practice it. And you practice it no matter how you're feeling, no matter what the world says, no matter what people tell you. You keep practicing it. You keep practicing it. The part of all those experiments we mentioned earlier is that intentions can move mountains. We can get our powerful non-conscious minds to agree with us. God always agrees with us. Let me take a quick poll. How many people in here have had a positive experience or a major change in your life because of this teaching? Look at that. Don't tell me this stuff doesn't work, because it does. It does. So remember this. We have to remember the future. So you make this stuff work in your mind. You systematically impress your mind with the thoughts you want the world to be like. And you start thinking, you start remembering the future that you want to impress yourself with. Does that make any sense? Yeah. You have to start feeling like something is so. You're making a memory that hasn't happened yet. As I said earlier, practice that you may prove, and be a regular prayer, a regular meditator, whatever. Practice that you may prove. Prove that you may know. So, see something? You have to be a little nuts to be attracted to this kind of teaching, right? A little nuts. Can I get a witness? Well, what do I mean? Never underestimating the Spirit within you. Never underestimating the Spirit within you. We are adrift in a sea of new ideas and possibilities and potentials. We have to choose those that fit us and bring them into form. We are here to love and have fun and help each other to see the truth. Like I said, we have to be a little nuts. Well, what I want you to do this day, I want you to arrive to the spiritual mental equivalency of a grand and magnificent dream. Oh, it doesn't have to be, that you're the chairman of the board or anything like that. It can be that you raise a wonderful child. The important thing is that you have it to do, and it can be done, and you are just the person to do it. So just start remembering that I love life, and I love God, and I love you. And that's the truth. So it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mitch. Thank you. So now it's the time to give back to what serves us. It's time to give back to what spiritually feeds us. So I'm going to ask our ushers to come forward. And for those here today, we can accept your gift using your card in our bookstore after the service. And for our online viewers, please contribute to the link on your screen or mail your check to the street address, which should be also showing on your screen. So say with me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and so it is. Thank you for your loving gifts.
Ray, can I get some audio?
Nothing can keep me from the plan you have created. The greatness of God will never cease. Oh, I found a love that's captive. I found a love that's free. It's all about forgiveness in every breath I breathe. I know this living water that flows inside of me. Let all the mountains tremble, let all the nations roar. Your grace is all sufficient, it's what I'm grateful for. 'Cause I know this living water washes over me. This is what I believe. 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 Yeah. I found a love that's captive. It captures all of me. I know this living water that flows inside of me. Let all the mountains tremble, let all the nations roar. Your grace is all sufficient, it's what I'm grateful for. 'Cause I know this living water washes over me. This is what I believe.
Joel and Raven, everyone.
If you have something that is troubling you or that is heavy on your heart, please join us in the fellowship hall. Or you can, or if somebody has something that is weighing on their hearts, you can fill out a prayer request form. There's a box right out here in the hallway, and you can put it in there, and the practitioners will respond. Or you can connect with our practitioners on our web. So practitioners and Dr. Mitch Johnson, would you come on down to the front for the close of our service? And I'm going to ask everybody to stand and to join with me in knowing that there is just one God, and that God is all that is good, and it's all that is true. And it moves and it has its being by means of me. And I know what I want to manifest in my life is already in the mind of God. My life happens as I believe. And so I deserve and desire the very best. I will rise. I will love life. I will love God, and I will love each and every one that is around me. So I affirm that I am in the heart of God, and I know that my life is anchored in truth. I live in a consciousness of peace, and I can never be severed, for I am living love. And with a grateful heart, I give thanks for all who participated in our service here today. I give great thanks for all who have listened and have learned. I give great thanks for all who have opened up their hearts and opened up their minds and said yes to living a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful life. So thank you, Father, Mother, God. I release this treatment to the law, knowing that it and so much more is done. And together we say, and so it is. Take it away.
Okay, while we're all standing, let's sing our closing song. Think of your fellow man, give him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. good luck around. And if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide college will be your guide, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait. Come on and see. Put a little love in your heart. 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 Come on and put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Here we go. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
This program is a service of the Center for Spiritual Living Nashville. May your life be filled with joy and prosperity in every way. Learn more about our programs or contact one of our practitioners at our website, cslnashville.org. You may also want to follow us on Facebook at CSLNASH. You can make a big difference with your financial gift at lovecsln.com. Please share the link to this program with a friend and join us again next Sunday. Have a wonderful week.